Hello, welcome back. It is Sunday the 6th of September today, and you're already aware from the title of the video that I am going to be planting loads of perennial flower seeds today, and I'm so excited to bring you along, and I'm hoping that I'm going to inspire you to have a go at growing some of these flowers from seed too. So we're fast approaching autumn now, and a lot of vegetable gardeners kind of feel like this is coming to the end of the season, but I always feel like autumn actually symbolises the beginning of the growing season, because I always plant my garlic and my onions out in autumn. But this definitely is becoming a more quieter time of the growing season, and one thing that I really want to grow more of next year, and that is flowers. I have 2 allotments, and both of those allotments have a lupin growing on them, and they have been absolutely beautiful this year. But both of those lupins have been grown from seed, and at this time of year we can start growing these seeds ready to hopefully be in flower next year. With a lupin, which is this, they are biannual, so it means that you grow them for 1 year and they won't flower, and the next year they do flower. So if I start these off now and they get really well established in their seed trays this year, and they get potted up and looked after, they should flower next year. So that's something that's really worth thinking about. Now, with these seeds as well, these are actually quite expensive. When I was at the garden centre the other day, I was having a look around at all of the flowers that I wanted to grow next year, and they were actually quite expensive. You're looking at about maybe £3 per packet of seeds, but much cheaper than if you want to buy the plants, because some of the lupins I saw at the garden centre last year were £18, which is absolutely, you know, when you've got a large Victorian garden like mine that needs to be completely planted, you're looking at probably spending a couple of £1,000s, and I just don't have that kind of money. But also growing flowers on the allotment or in your vegetable patch is just so beneficial to all of those insects. The bees absolutely love the lupins that I grew last year. So today we are going to be growing 5 different perennial flower seeds, and hopefully these will all be flowering this time next year. So yeah, the first lot I'm going to be growing are these tall Russell lupin seeds. I absolutely love them, and I'm so thankful to Jen from Jen's Allotment Adventures for gifting me these, because she had them in her seed collection. But I'm hoping that I can plant loads of these and I'll be able to give her some. And once these plants get really established, you can actually take cuttings of the plants, so you never have to grow them from seed ever again. I'm just using lots of different seed trays that I've got lying around the place, and these will then be put in the little mini greenhouses that I've got. So I'm going to go with 2 seeds per module. So with lupins and all of the other seeds that I'm sowing today, these are all perennial, which means once you've sown them once, they will come back year after year, and you never have to worry about sowing them again. You've got hardy annuals, which sometimes grow back the year after, and then you've just got plain old annuals. Unfortunately, you know, I don't know too much about annuals and which ones are the best to grow. I know you can plant them now and start growing them now for next year's garden. Many of the really big Victorian kind of country houses and things would have had an army of gardeners at this time of year sitting doing this, ready for their, you know, their gardens next year. Obviously they didn't have garden centres back then. The compost that I'm using today is just a peat-free multi-purpose compost. Unfortunately, I can't actually get hold of a really good peat-free kind of seed compost, but these are generally quite big seeds, so I'm not too worried. Oh, it's just started raining. It's been like this all day. You get kind of like half an hour of no rain, and then you suddenly get a shower, but hopefully it's not going to come to anything. Make sure you label your seeds as well. With a lupin, it's quite obvious what they look like when they come through, but you do need to know what they look like first, so don't forget a label. So the next lot of flower seeds that I'm going to be growing today are called Rudbeckia. Now these are like a daisy type, and after I was complaining so much about how expensive seeds were, I went to a shop called The Range. I'm happy to say the name actually and give them some credit here, because their packs of seeds are 49p each, which makes it much more affordable for me. I would say these are my second favourite plants actually. I have memories of Rudbeckia from a really young age. I went to the plant nursery once with my mum, and she was, having a look through the, different flowers that were available, and I can just remember seeing these, and I thought they looked absolutely beautiful. And I actually thought these were like hardy annuals, but apparently this is a perennial. It was in the perennial range at the Range. So yeah, hopefully I can get these to germinate really well. The seeds here, I don't know if you can see, they are absolutely tiny. So fingers crossed they germinate okay. But there's hardly, well, I don't know how many it says in here. I've just ripped through the... It doesn't say how many are in the pack. So I'm just going to kind of spread them out between these containers that I've got, and hopefully I get a really good germination. If all of these germinate, I'm probably going to have about 500 plants. What I will do as well is in the comments below, or in the description below, I'll put a list of the plants that I have sown today. And the next seeds that I'm going to be growing today are called Aquilia. They're also known as columbine or granny's bonnet, I believe. Now, my neighbour here, he has like a wildlife garden. He doesn't get out in the garden much, but he has got loads of these beautiful different coloured Aquilias, and I'm so jealous of them every single year. I've got a couple that grow in my patio, but I've never been successful in actually growing them from seed. I think the reason is that they actually take quite a long time to germinate. So when you start thinking of growing them from seed, maybe early spring and summer, they just, one day they get a little bit too hot in the greenhouse, and then that is it. I had I was pretty sure today that I had read somewhere before that they need some light to germinate as well, but then I've had a quick look online earlier and I can't see that information again, and I've had a look on the back and it doesn't say that either. But these ones are really pretty, as you can see, so fingers crossed I can get some of these to germinate. These are a much bigger seed, and they kind of look a little bit like an onion seed. You can see there. I'm probably going to have a couple growing through the patio here now. These also are super easy to save the seed from as well. So if you have any friends that have beautiful Aquilias, it's always worth seeing if you can pick up some of the seeds. So some of you may know, but my day job is working in a library, and one of our borrowers loves gardening, and she always gets this like weekly gardening magazine. It's a really cheap one rather than the kind of monthly ones that come with loads of vegetable seeds and things, but she always saves the magazines for me. And I'm going to be going on holiday in a week now, and I picked up 4 of these magazines, and they are so good because they're for kind of like the all-round gardener, people that have flower gardens, people that have vegetable gardens. But there is so much information in these, so I'm going to be taking these 4 away, and I'm going to be reading all about them. They always have really good information about kind of different flowers and stuff like that, because, you know, as much as I kind of am quite interested in flowers, I've never actually really grown them before. So hopefully I can pick up some tips, or maybe even start a scrapbook for my front garden. Maybe see different flowers in there and which ones go well together. And yeah, it should hopefully teach me a thing or two. Also, I'm using this kind of seed tray thing here. It's absolutely amazing. You put all of your compost in at the back and it doesn't make a mess anywhere else. So I absolutely love it. And this, I think, you know, early in the, you know, in January, February, it's absolutely freezing outside, or it's Boxing Day because I'm going to be putting my onion seeds in. This is such an amazing thing, and I picked it up from Amazon. So if you don't have one of these, I really recommend it. I know some people use like old dog baskets or make them out of wood, but you know, I'm actually not really good at woodwork. So this is amazing, such a godsend, and makes sowing seeds so much easier. So the next packet of seeds that I'm sowing today are hollyhocks. Now last year, I think it was, I picked up a pack of 12 or 24 perennial flowers, like kind of a pick and mix, and one of them, well, two of the plants in there were hollyhocks, and I'd never grown them before. I'd heard about them, but I wouldn't have been able to identify what they looked like. But they came up, and one of them was like the cream colour and the red colour, like the burgundy colour, and they were just so pretty. So I thought I'm going to give those ones a go. They would look really good at like the back of my front garden border. So hopefully these germinate really easily. These are much bigger seeds. So hopefully I kind of go with the bigger the seed, the easier it is to germinate. So there you go. That is what the seed looks like. Can you hear my cat? He's like a semi kind of wild cat that just like wanders off for a few days and then comes back, but he's very vocal. If you can recommend any really good flower books that you think I should buy, or even what your favourite flower is, let me know, because I'm really interested to know. You know, I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert whatsoever. So yeah, if you've got a favourite flower that's really easy to grow in the UK, just let me know. I'm all ears. And the last lot of seeds that I'm going to be growing today is Companola. So you quite often see these for sale in the supermarkets really cheap, and places like that. I've also got some Companola out the front of my house that already grows. But here there was some like almost pinky and some very, very light lilac on the front, and I kind of thought they look quite pretty. And it's usually kind of just the dark purple ones that you see, you know, cheap for sale. So I thought it's worth giving these a go and seeing what I get. I can tell you now, the seeds are absolutely tiny. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how well these germinate. I've been really sparing here, but there's probably about 15 in each one. So they're all sown now and they're all labelled, so I'm going to give them a drink. So now these have all been watered. I'm just going to leave them in this mini cold frame that I've got, just because here in Wales, when it rains, it absolutely hammers down. So I want to just make sure that they're going to be protected from the elements. At the top here, I've got hollyhock, and then I've got the Aquilia. I've got my Lupins here and the Companola here, and on the very bottom I've got my Rudbeckia. I'm saying this now because those labels will come off and I will forget what is where. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that I have managed to convince or to inspire you to also go down to your local garden centre, or even look in your seed box now for things that you can sow now that will give you beautiful flowers next year and save you some money. Also, you could probably swap these with another plot holder and get twice as many flowers too. But anyway, I'm going to head off now. Thank you so much for watching today. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, please do hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified of all of my latest videos. Up on the screen now, there are a couple of videos that YouTube think you'll like, so please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next episode. Bye!